In today's video, we're going over how to build bigger, more defined arms. Something every guy wants to do, right? And I'm gonna share with you 5 of my absolute favorite exercises to do that. And just a heads up, the last 2 exercises I think are the most overlooked part of the arms that really can help build that nice aesthetic look that a lot of people neglect. So before we dive into it, it's important to acknowledge that there's a lot of factors that go into building bigger, more defined arms, including nutrition, which we're not gonna cover in this video, but eating the right amount of proteins, carbs, and fats, the right amount of total calories, that certainly plays a pretty large role in how much body fat you have around your arms and your body composition, and ultimately how your arms and the rest of your body look. So keep that in mind, that that matters as well, in addition to just doing some of the best exercises out there. So if you'd like to check out my Lean Muscle Cookbook, which is totally free, it has over 20 pages of macro-friendly recipes that can be one piece to the pie of building a great physique and great arms. You can grab it in the description down below of this video. Like I said, it's totally free. But let's dive into it. My 5 favorite exercises to build great arms. And keep in mind, this is my own personal preference. There's not just one way to build great arms or to build any muscle group up to be better than it is now, but these are my particular favorite exercises, and I'm gonna explain why that is. Exercise number 1 is for the biceps, and it is a variation of traditional dumbbell curls. The one that I like most is a seated incline dumbbell curl. It's done on a slight incline and you're seated so that it takes out all momentum. You're not gonna be rocking back and forth, trying to lift the weights, but also because it's on a slight incline, it allows you to fully stretch out the bicep on the way down and get a nice full stretch in the bicep, get a nice range of motion when you bring it all the way up. So that's my absolute favorite curl variation, but an alternative to that is preacher curls. Preacher curls you can also do with dumbbells, and they're done on a preacher bench, or you could even do them on an incline bench where your elbows and your triceps are resting on the preacher curl bench and you curl all the way up. So again, it's taking out all momentum. It's a very isolated movement, and it's one of my absolute favorite exercises to build the biceps. Either one of these variations can be one of your go-to options for traditional curls. Exercise number 2 is also for the biceps, but it's a slightly different variation, and it's hammer curls. I'm sure you've seen these before. This is the version where basically your hands are in more of a neutral position and your palms are facing in towards your body. I prefer to do these alternating one arm at a time so that I can slightly bring the dumbbell in towards my chest. And this is gonna be great for really hitting that lower part of the bicep, as well as hitting the forearms as well, building nice strong forearms. For exercise number 3 and 4, we're moving on to the triceps, so the opposite part of the arms. So exercise number 3 is a single arm tricep extension done on the cable machine. This is my absolute favorite tricep exercise. Doing it one arm at a time allows you to get a real full range of motion, whereas I find using a rope, like a lot of people do with both arms together, you don't get as big of a range of motion and as big of a contraction compared to one arm at a time. And of course, you can still build your triceps using the rope. You can absolutely still, grow your triceps doing that. But just try this single arm extension on the cable one at a time and see really how much of a difference it is compared to using the rope and doing both arms at the same time. And for this single arm extension, I'm still putting the cable machine up at the top of, the cable. And the difference is I'm usually not adding an attachment or a handle to it. I'm grabbing the cable itself, or the little ball at the base of the cable machine, and I'm using that and simply doing my reps in that way, and that's way more comfortable and it's way easier than trying to put an attachment on there. So that's more of a press down movement for the triceps. When I'm training triceps, I like to have one movement where I'm doing like a press down like that, and then I like to have usually some sort of overhead tricep extension as well. Sometimes I'll do an overhead dumbbell tricep extension, but that is not the one that I'm gonna go with in this video as number 4. 4, exercise number 4 is probably one of my favorites, and it's incline dumbbell skull crushers. And I really love doing this with dumbbells compared to what you see it more commonly done with, which is like an easy bar or a barbell of some sort. It just allows for more comfort on the wrists and more of a neutral grip when you're doing your reps compared to being in a fixed position with a bar, and sometimes it can strain your wrist based on how much weight you're doing in the position that you're in. Doing it with dumbbells is a game changer. I absolutely love it. It allows you to get a nice full stretch and range of motion when you're going through the set. And this is one of those exercises that you don't even need a ton of weight for it to be super effective. Even picking up 10 or 15 pounds, at some point you're gonna start to feel it and it's gonna start to burn. Now, the final 2 exercises that I said are the most overlooked when it comes to building great arms, more defined, more bigger arms. So exercise number 5 is lateral raises. And you might be saying,
but Jesse, lateral raises is for the shoulders, not the arms.
Yes, I'm familiar with the muscle group that lateral raises train. It's gonna be your delts. So if you wanna count the arms as just your biceps or your triceps, of course, like doing lateral raises and hitting the delts isn't technically a bicep or a tricep exercise, but the shoulder is sort of attached to the arm here. And when people look at your arms, they're going to also see, you know, the various parts of the shoulder as well. And even in my sleeve here, you know, a large chunk of my sleeve is taken up by my delts. And what I've learned is that having really well-developed delts and rear delts as well really gives nice symmetry, especially for a man who wants to look a little bit wider, wants to have a nice, well-balanced physique. You're gonna have more symmetry and you're going to look wider and broader if you build up really great side delts and rear delts, and of course front delts as well. And lateral raises is my favorite exercise to build that side delt here. You can do these just standing with dumbbells like you see most people doing them, or you can even do them seated, which it might even be harder. It takes out the momentum. You can do them chest supported, throw up an incline bench, do chest supported dumbbell lateral raises, which again takes out the momentum, makes it a little bit harder. You can even do these on a cable, you know, one arm at a time or even both arms together on a dual cable. There's so many variations you can do this with, but choosing your favorite variation of a lateral raise and doing them effectively in the proper amount of sets and reps is definitely going to help build a nice aesthetic overall for your arms in general. Exercise number 6 is rear delt cable flies, or I should say rear delt flies in general. You can do these in any variation you want. You can do them with dumbbells on an incline chest supported bench. You can do these on the chest fly or pec deck machine and sit reverse, and you can do rear delt flies on that machine and train the rear delts. Or you can do my favorite variation of the exercise, which is on a dual cable setup, where you're gonna grab the opposite handle on each side, take a couple steps back, and you're going to do a reverse fly at about arm height or a little bit higher with the cables. And you're basically doing a reverse fly and training, you know, those rear delts and that kind of upper back area. And again, this isn't biceps or triceps. Technically, this isn't arms at all, but having a nice developed rear delt over here, just like side delt and front delt, is going to contribute to having better looking arms in general. You're gonna be able to fill out your shirts better. You're gonna look better with tank tops on. It really does make a difference. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know down in the comments if you have any of these 6 exercises in your program right now. I mean, if you're following any normal program, I imagine you have some form of curl or hammer curl or you know, some form of triceps in there. Let me know what your favorite arm exercises are down below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found it somewhat interesting. Again, these were my own personal favorites, right? I'm not saying these are factually the best. They're just my favorites, my go-tos for building up my arms. And if you like this video, consider subscribing to my channel, because I make new videos just like this every single week, just like this one that I'm gonna leave right up here. I think you'll really like it if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you over there.